And what's your thoughts as Bradford progress into the 1895 Cup semi-finals?
Fantastic. It's better than not being in the semi-finals. As always, we did some good things today. I'm thrilled for the players.
You knew it was going to be a tough game. Sheffield coming here and having a real day. You referenced that on Wednesday in your pre-match. Is that what you felt was a reflective of their efforts in that first half?
Yeah, and I thought we helped them. You don't give a dog a bone, and we did. And so we had to rectify that at half time and understand that teams look at you, so they might have a solution to some of the things you try and do with the ball. So it was good. We rectified it at half time, and the game became a whole lot easier whilst not being easy. Does that make sense?
Sheffield were leading 8-0, and I think I counted 3 visits in there, 20 metres in that first half, Brian, where either the ball's going over the dead ball line, an early kick, or Kieran Gill going high on Jack Walker. Clearly there is work to be done on, and how much of a concern was that, heading towards that half-time break?
Well, the reality is that they continue to do that kind of thing. They might not have been on the right side of the scoreline. So it was important that and that's the good thing about half-time, you get to change things. So we changed things.
How important was that Nathan Mason try and contribution? Did that change anything in terms of your half-time talk?
No, I was pretty clear on what we were going to say to each other at half-time, and it was received well. And I thought the players deserve a lot of credit for responding in the way that they did at the start of that second half. Does it help? Of course it helps. All tries help. But I was pleased without being wholly satisfied at the way that they turned it around.
What did you say to them at half-time, Brian?
Well, you're losing. And if you keep playing the way you're playing, you'll lose some more. So we had to change things. We had to change what we were doing, and we did. And that's the pleasing thing about this game. You get opportunities within a game or at half-time to influence the game. And they knew. They've got some smart players, got some smart cookies, and they knew.
When you look at the moments leading up to that Nathan Mason try, there's 60 seconds to go. Morgan Smith tries to drill the ball into touch, but Jayden Okunbor, to my eyes, looks like he looked up at the scoreboard and the clock, and he stopped that going into touch and realised 60 seconds is a long time. How good is it that you're seeing that, Brian, that rather than we'll go into the sheds 8-0 and face Brian, there's 60 seconds to go, we're going to have a real go, and ultimately with seconds to go.
It's such a dilemma to face Brian. It sounds like a movie, a Hollywood scary movie. I think it was a smart player. Do they have that kind of thought process that there's 59 seconds on the clock? Are they actually looking at the clock? It was a good play from Jayden, because we want to keep playing wherever we do. And the fact we got down the other end of the field and Nathan, pretty pleased for Nathan Mason. We asked him to do certain things from his game last week, and he'd done those things. And so I was thrilled for him. But the half-time message wouldn't have changed.
And then immediately after half-time, you get that second Nathan Mason try, which ultimately, never in the comfort zone, Brian, but it probably kind of cements and reinforces your half-time message, which I presume was to play a hell of a lot smarter and stick to that game plan.
It was handy. I thought we started the second half really well. We were more direct, that's the right expression, and that helps you. It helps any team. You're more direct, and you're doing some things that we clearly weren't doing. We'd every chance of giving Sheffield a leg up today, and they're a good team anyway, so you give a good team a leg up, and more often than not you come at the wrong side of the scoreboard. But I'm absolutely thrilled for the players. They were good in the second half. There's still a couple of things we should do better, but I thought towards the back end we showed our true prowess.
How important was it Mason scores second half, and then that's backed up 90 seconds later with Jordan Lilly, and then equally after Sheffield had brought the game a little bit closer to him, perhaps give him a chance, you've then got Jayden Okunbor and Kieran Gill doing the same, doubling up, which effectively put the game to bed.
That's real, Andy. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It was on the back of what they decided to do at half time, and they did it, so that our players deserve full credit for that, because Not sure we could have done that in the first half.
I know you've mentioned it last week with his contribution, but another real strong performance by Jordan Lilly, who I think he might be getting taking the nickname from Paul Medley, super sub.
He had an influence, but he wasn't on his own. I thought Ronan Michaels, Sam Hallis had an influence from the bench. Nathan Mason, clearly you've spoken about him. So we got some actions from the bench that changed the way we were playing, and that's what we want as a coach and as a group of coaches. And we got that, so we can't ask any more of them. We probably can ask more of ourselves at the start of the game, because I'll go back to what I initially said, we certainly gave the dog a bone.
Hallis and Evan Hodgson both got similar.
Yeah.
Brian, did that allow a bit of refocus, not to kind of get dragged into that sort of, the last round against Batley, you said we got dragged into a dark place. Clearly, you didn't after that sort of flare-up flashpoint.
Well, there'll be messages that were reinforced for sure. It's just distractions. When you slow play the balls and then the referee towards the back end wants to give them a few more penalties than maybe they should get, and a few good decisions on a couple of knock-ons. We contribute to that when we're running and doing those kind of things. So yeah, we'll talk about that one as well.
One of the tries, Kieran Gills, when you've got Franklin Pelly making 60 metres down the touchline, Brian, you've certainly give the fans the money's worth, certainly in that second half.
Well, we've improved, because last week Franklin threw it on the floor. It was a forward pass, so if you rerun that, he's learnt from his lesson. Well done, Frankie, is what I say.
And on Kieran Gill, helped off the field by the doctor and the physio.
Yeah, we're hoping it's not as bad as it looks. I've got to give our groundsman great credit again for the dry weather we've had, and the field looked great today and it played really, really well. But I'm just hoping it's a jarred knee, but we won't know properly till tomorrow.
Mitch Suter didn't really do many.
He got dead leg, so he came off. He should be fine. We've got a bye week next week, so we'll get the vinegar and brown paper out, and most people should be all right.
So there's only just a question mark on Kieran Gill. Everyone else is fine.
Pretty much.
And obviously, you're into the semi-finals. The draw will take place till next Sunday.
Next Sunday
Evening, Brian, after Huddersfield v Catalans, I'm told by the RFL. But you look at the other sides that are through: York, Featherstone, Oldham. Certainly, there's going to be some blockbuster action in them two 1895 Cup semi-finals.
Yeah, one step away from Wembley, so all those emotional things people will talk about, and everybody will want to go. So there's no easy game in the semi, and we'll get what we get.
And just on to next week, what does this sort of bye week look for you? I'm kind of guessing after a game like this, it comes at a good time before the showdown at the Shea.
We've got a couple of big games. I don't normally block them, but we're probably playing our two biggest competitors, Halifax at the moment and Oldham, flying high as well, both on Fridays, and Friday afternoon and a Friday night. And it's important that we're ready, and our mentality is probably similar, and if not a bit better than the one we showed in the second half today. So brilliant. I honestly wanted to get through this game in a positive manner so that we could focus on those two games, which I think are very important for us.
Just finally from me, Eben Sker, you said was 50-50 on Wednesday. You ultimately left him out.
Yeah.
Same 17 as faced Featherstone.
Yeah.
How close or how near was he into your thoughts this afternoon?
Yeah, really close. But we erred on the side of caution, and we know it'll be 100% for Halifax.
And obviously, when you look at Nathan Mason's performance and some of
the
forwards,
competition. So we've got to pick the right team. Before Eben left the team, I think he was a standout forward in the competition. So he has to prove his fitness in a lot of practices, but the good news is he'll be practicing with us in the next 4 or 5 sessions before Halifax, so that's the good thing.
Yeah, and Brian, just talk more broadly about Nathan. He spoke to me after the Dewsbury friendly and said there were times last year it was really tough. He thought about knocking the game on the head. He hasn't had it easy really since he, and you've been here since he came in.
Yeah.
On that level, just how pleased are you for him? It's probably going to do a hell of a lot for his confidence and his belief in himself, I guess, how he did today when he scored those 2 tries, which were key to changing the game around.
Yeah, it was good timing from him, wasn't it? He's actually been improving incrementally all the bits he's been getting. But we asked him to play a little bit more, and it sounds crazy, just be a bit more explosive, Nathan. You're 18 stone, you're 6'5", and you just being efficient ain't going to keep you in the team. So, and he responded really, really well. He understands that he has to be a big powerhouse, as we have with Franklin and Eben when he's on the field. You know, even Emmanuel Wane goes into the same mix. You've got to change, you've got to move the chains, as I call it. You've got to bend the ropes back, and I think he did that today.
That's really good, yeah. And I said to you after the Featherstone game, sort of, can you replicate that on the smaller pitch at Oddson? You've had a game and a half where the attacking wasn't great Barrow in the first half today, but that, I guess, will give the lads a lot of confidence going forward, how they attacked in the second half, and really showed they could do it, because they were excellent and really inventive.
Yeah, particularly in the second half. I thought we executed some bits on the fringe, and we bombed a couple as well, which we'll need to speak about, because opportunities are to come by in this competition. And I thought we were clearly the better team in the second half. And a little bit of distractions and kerfuffles and things like that probably took some momentum away from us, the truth be known. But the penny's starting to drop. There's certain things that we can't do that we did in the first half, and it's about taking up on that challenge about, you know, not doing that.
I saw John Lilly had shared his Instagram last week about your mate that always runs into start a fight when it's nothing much happening, obviously, and he tagged Sam in it, and obviously that did happen today, and Sam got the yellow card. Does that take a bit away from Sam Hallis if he loses that edge, or is it a way because of Sam, you don't need to be doing that, you need to stop doing that, or what does that competition go like with Sam?
It's totally alien to the things I coach.
Yeah.
So Sam needs to pick up on that real quick, because as much as I love him defending our own players, Milford made some wrongs, all right, so the referee had already picked up on it. So it doesn't work for me, that one, and Sam knows that.
Great stuff. And for yourselves, obviously, it's quite a gap now at the semis. It'll be exciting, everyone knows one more win and gets you to Wembley, but the fact that it is sort of several weeks away and you've got some massive league games before then, is it quite easy now to switch off and get back to the league now and not think too far ahead?
I think the break's come at a good time for us. We've had a lot of big fixtures. Yeah. You know, we've had a lot of headline fixtures. We've had in the main, we've got a great start to the year, and it's important that our next two games we nail a few things for ourselves, and we get a couple of weeks to get right for that. I think the break's come at a brilliant time, and I'm hoping that players think the same, because we're a good team and we're a good group of people, but sometimes you've got to give yourself a leg up, and I think we're in that situation.
So there's no disappointment after two good wins against Fev and Sheffield. It's very much a case of it's a really good time, as opposed to we've got some momentum now. You're actually quite pleased that going into the Foxfield and it's good.
I'm absolutely not delighted, because you want to keep momentum, but I think the few extra sessions that we'll get leading into the Halifax game will help us.